Right now we got a song named When Cries. Thank you very much. We have a song named When Cries.
I've been playing guitar for more than 40 years. This song came out the week before I was born, and today I'm going to show you how to play it. Good morning, and thanks for dropping by to hang out with us here on the couch. Boy, do we have a good one for you today. Jimi Hendrix wrote the When Cries Mary in an attempt to patch things up after an argument with his girlfriend, whose middle name was Mary. Some of the lyrics, however, came from a poem that he had previously written for a girlfriend whose first name was Mary. In an interview, Jimi later confirmed that the song was about more than one person. It was released in June of 1967 as the B-side to the single Purple Haze, and was also put on his debut album Are You Experienced later in August. Stay with me after the lesson and we'll talk about the man, the song, and so much more. For now, let's jump right in and learn that iconic intro riff. The intro to this song starts out with what would be like a D-sharp bar chord. So my index finger is barring the 6th fret. Actually, if I were making the D-sharp bar chord, it would be 5 through 1. My ring finger would be 4 through 1 on the 8th fret. But what makes this a little bit different is that I've also got the 6th fret on the low E string held down. So I do have that full D-sharp bar chord like it should be, but I'm also adding in an A-sharp note. So it's like a D-sharp over A-sharp chord. And he's playing down probably 6 through 4 or so. If you get much farther than that, it doesn't sound right. And we're going to ascend a half step at a time. So that exact same shape, we're going to move it up once, play it, move it up twice, and play it. Once we get there, we're going to kind of invert it a little bit. We're going to take our index finger off of the low E string, and it's going to go down to 5 through 1 here at 8 where we stopped. And now we're going to play strings 5, 4, and maybe 3, but we're also at the same time we're going to hammer on real fast to the 8th fret of the A string. Faster the better. And we're going to do that same thing. We're going to ascend a half step at a time and do that over and over again until we get here to the 10th. That's the first 3. That's the second 3. So again, there we're playing 6, 5, 4 and 3. Over here we're hammering on just on the A string, but we're also playing the D and the G. So we played through those two progressions 2 times, so it's like this. When we get right there the second time, we're going to hold it for a minute, and then we have this little lick. So that's hammering on from 10 to 12, and then we're playing 10 on the D string. If we get the G string in there too, it's okay. And then we want to play 12, pulling back off to 10. And we wind up back at 12 on the A string, and that puts us into the verse. Play that, the opening progression from the verse is my index finger is barring the E and the B string at 8. My middle finger is on 9 of the G string, ring finger is on 10 of the D string, and I'm wrapping my thumb over the top to fret the 8th fret of the low E string. So really, that's like a C major bar chord right there, but the reason we're doing it like this is because here in the near future we're going to start using these other fingers for different embellishments that we would not be able to do if we had it barred this way. So we're really playing a bar chord without the bar by doing it this way, and that's one of the things that's neat about Hendrix songs, is the way that he forms chords that allows you to make embellishments and play things differently than you would otherwise if you were playing by the book, I guess. So we're going to play that root note, rest of the chord, go down 2 half steps, a half step at a time, and then the chord again. So there I'm at 6, started at 8. Then I go all the way down to 1, the exact same position with all these fingers. I play it once, and then I'm going to play it 2 more times, but as I do, I'm going to go from open on the G string with my middle finger, and I'm hammering on to 2. Then I go up here to 3, and I'm going to form a, instead of playing this shape, I'm actually going to form a C bar chord here, rooted on the 5th fret, 5th string. So my index finger is on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, and then my ring finger is barring everything else, strings 4, 3, 2, and 1 at the 5th fret. So I'm going to play the root note to start with, then the rest of the chord, and I have this little lick, which was similar to what we did down here. So we're hammering around 3 to 5 on the A, going to 3 on the D string. If we hit the G string too, that's fine, sounds good. And then we're going to hammer on to 5 on the D string, and then we're going to go back to 3 on the D and or G. Then back to our F chord. This time, instead of doing those middle finger embellishments on the G string, we're going to lift off. I've still got E and B fretted at 1 here with my index finger, but I'm going to use my pinky to hammer on and pull off of the B string at the 3rd fret. So that's the way that little part goes. Then we go back to our C bar chord. Now we're going to go down a half step at a time with our index finger. So we're on the 3rd fret, we played the root note, we played the chord. So we go to the 2nd fret, then to the 1st fret after we play it, then we play the rest of the chord. So again, it's... And then we go back to the F chord. I think on the record, I don't hear him, after the first time, I don't hear him play the rest of the F chord, but he does play the F note with his thumb. If you want to just play the chord there, that's okay. transfer into the chorus next. So our chorus is still this exact same shape. It's a G bar chord without the bar. So my thumb's wrapped over. It's on the 3rd fret of the low E string. Index finger's got the E and the B at the 3rd fret. And then my middle finger is on the G string at 4. Ring finger is on 5 of the D string. And really, you can just play those bottom strings, but another neat thing to do as the song progresses, as you're playing this chorus, you're fretting this low E with your thumb. Let your thumb also mute the A string a little bit, and then your ring finger that's on the D string at 5, the top of it can also mute that A string. So if I hit the A string, it's really not making much of a sound. So if I play that whole thing, I'm able to get that low E string in there too, that bass G note. As we play it, we're going to use our pinky to hammer on and pull off of the B string. So a couple strums, hammer on, pull off on the B string at 5. And then we go up to the 6th fret and do the same thing. So the first one's on 3. And then we have the intro lick again. But we're only going to do that first half, and then we're going to go back to the chorus lick. The second time, though, we're going to add on the second half of the riff. But we only play it one time, and then we do our little lick here again. And we go back into our verse. Now, verse number 2 is a little bit different. It starts the same. Still got that hammer on the 2nd fret of the G string. This time, when we get here, instead of doing the thing on the B string, we're going to do the hammer on again on the G string. Now we're going to go up here as it starts. So this C chord that we've been playing clear up here, but we're going to put our pinky on the 10th fret of the high E string. So it's going to be, has a little bit prettier sound. And we're only going to do the bass note the first time. We're going to walk that whole chord down to the 6th fret there. Then we go back to our F chord. And then that puts us back into chorus number 2. So another key thing is that we keep that bar on strings 1 and 2, whether it's at 3 or whether it's at 6, because if you're playing this and the E string is open, that's not going to sound very good. So you want to make sure you got that bar held there firmly. So again, we go through it twice. First time we just do the first half of the intro riff. The second time we do the second half as well. And that's going to lead us into the solo, and we're going to talk about that next. Our solo starts with this lick. So that's a hammer on. I'm actually playing the 13th fret of the E and the B. But as soon as I play that, I'm going to hammer on to the 15th fret of the B only, so the E is still going to be at 13. As soon as it rings out a little bit, I'm going to slide it down. And then I go to this position. So my index finger is at 12 of the G, my middle finger is at 13 of the B. So making that sound. And I'm using my ring finger to kind of maneuver here between 14 on the G and 15 on the D. So play that position, and then I go to the 14th of the G, and I'm playing double stops there, so both those are okay. Back open, and now I'm going to go to the 15 of the D only, so that's not a double stop, just that note, and then back. And then when I get there, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go from 12 to 14. I'm going to hammer on and pull off, and then back to 15 on D, and then I'm going to slide up from 15 to 17 on the A. So after that slide up, we go 15 to 17 on the D, and then back to 15, but we play it and we hammer back on to 17 real quick. And then a little bit of vibrato there at the end's good too. And then we go back to the same beginning. But here I don't do that hammer on. Now I go directly to the A, and I'm going to slide up from 15 to 17. Then I go to the D, 15, 17, 15. And now I'm going to hammer on 15 to 17 on the D. And the same thing on the A. So that lick is. And that ends that part. And now the third time that we do it, this time instead of hammering on, I'm just going to play these two notes and slide down. I'm going to go back to this position again. Everything's the same. But this last little part here is different. I slide to 15 to 17 on the A the same. And when I get to 17 on the D, now I'm just going to go back to the A and hammer on real quick, 15 to 17. So that last lick again. And that's it. Now we change up. So that's almost like a reverse power chord on the E and the B. So my index finger is on 15 of the E, 17 of the B with my ring. Play it twice, and then the same position or the same shape I had here, I just move up 2 frets. So index is on 14 of the G, middle finger is on 15 of the B. And I'm going to use this finger the same way, just like I did down there. Go into 16, 17 of the D. When I get back here, I'm going to hammer on 2 times real quick from the G where it's barred here at 14 up to 16. So again. Then I go down here to this chord like I've done before, like I did in the chorus. I'm at the 6th fret. B and the E barred at 6, middle finger on the G string at the 7th, ring finger at D of the 9th, and I'm going to play that a couple times, and then I'm going to hammer on and pull off of the B string at 8 with my pinky. And then I'm going to go to the 8th fret of the G string with my pinky. Play it a couple times and pull off. So it's kind of like this. And then I have this little lick. So that starts on the B string, bend up 12, come back down and play it, go to 9 on the B, bend up 11 of the G, B and E at 9 still, come back to 11 of the G, and then 9 of the G with a little bend. And then we have this lick as we're getting to the end of the solo. So that's at 13 of the B and E. I'm hammering on to 15 of the B only. And going back to the B and E at 13, and then I go back to this original index and middle finger that I had at the 12 and 13. And then I go down here. So that's like that original little lick that we had going into the first verse. I'm hammering on from 10 to 12 on the D string. I'm also playing, I've also got that kind of barred, so 10 also gets hit on the G. Back to 12 on the D. Back to 10 on the G. Then I get a 13 on the A. And then I'm going to hammer on from 10 to 12 on the A. So if you get extra strings in there and make double stops out of them, that's okay. That sounds fine. And that puts us back into the next verse. So when the solo ends, we go right back into another verse using the same chord shapes and voicings and embellishments that we've used to this point. We have another chorus that's the same. After the second time through, you put the little tail on it like you have the other time. Then we go straight back into another verse. Go through that verse, through the chorus that follows it, but the ending of that chorus and the ending of the song is slightly different. So say we've gone through the chorus 2 times and we're coming back to this intro verse. Then we have this new little lick that we've not learned yet. So that's a slide up on the B and the E string from 8 to 10. Back to 8. Play it. Then we're going to go to bar the 12. It's the D string, the G string, and the B string. And I'm going to play that bar, but then I'm going to hammer on. G string is still going to be at 10, but my middle finger is going to hammer on to the 11th of the B. Ring finger is going to hammer on to the 12th of the G, or the D, sorry. And then we play it again one time. Then we go back to and that ends the song. There are a couple of extra little overdubbed pentatonic licks there. So after you've done that, you got this lick. That's one similar to what we've done so far, but it's a hammer on, pull off from 10 to 12 on the D, and then 12 to 10 on the A, on to 13 on the E. That's one of them. There's another one too that's a little bit more in the background, but real similar. They are overdubbed while the rhythm guitar is playing too, so as one guitarist you can't play them both. But then it ends on that lick that we just learned. And that's the last note of the song, is that bar on the 10th fret of the B, G, and D strings. That's the end of the song. James Marshall Hendrix left an indelible mark on rock guitar. In a recent interview, legendary guitarist Steve Vai said that there has been 2 guitar players that changed everything in rock music. Most recent was Eddie Van Halen, but before him was Jimi Hendrix, and there have been none other than those 2 who made such a great difference in Vai's opinion. The Wind Cries Mary was a top 10 hit in England, And while it didn't make the singles charts here in the US, it has been a mainstay on rock radio stations for 57 years now. It's also been recorded by a multitude of other artists, including John Mayer, Sting, Miles Davis, and even Pat Boone, to name a few. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you know that I try to see things from a biblical point of view. When I hear this song, my mind automatically goes to Mary, the Virgin Mother of Jesus. Luke tells us that when the angel Gabriel visited Mary to tell her that she'd conceive as a virgin a son who was to be the Savior of the world, her reply was, "Be it unto me according to thy word." I find much faith and inspiration in that reply. If you don't know the gospel, it's that Jesus, born of a virgin, lived a life free of sin and was then crucified for our sin. He was buried and rose again 3 days later according to the scriptures. He was seen resurrected of many witnesses, many of which were put to death because they wouldn't recant that testimony. And he's coming back again soon. If you don't know him, I'd encourage you to pick Jesus. I'd encourage you to seek him with all of your heart. His word says that if you confess him as Lord with your mouth and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. Thank you very much for watching, and if you like what I'm doing here, please give me a thumbs up below and subscribe to the channel. If you need a new set of strings, or if you'd like to own any of the gear that I use, I'll have affiliate links in the description. I look forward to having you back again soon, right here on the couch.
Wow, 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 wow.